Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe and like. Club football is back. Yes, we are starting from today, the 22nd of July. I'm thinking, what a date then. We are starting the club football is back, and it starts with Premier League transfers. We might do a video on the Championship transfers this week as well. Then of course, I think at the start of next week or towards the end of this week, there'll be of course Championship table and that. I think the Premier League table will be early tables, because of course that ain't till like 4 or 5 weeks away. But if we do Championship early, no point, because that starts in like a week or two. So yeah, but I'm joined with Dan, the man, always on my channel. You alright?
Yeah, I'm all good, thank you.
You're excited for club football to get back, of course?
Yeah, probably not till like after Christmas when we're not even in the playoffs, but for now, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Alright, let's get into it then. We start off with Arsenal, Dan. They've only signed 2 players so far. Nketiah from Leverkusen, of course, he was there last season. And I mean, Arsenal fans are not happy about this one. Meslier from Leeds United. He is going to be a third choice, but if Kepa leaves, he will be the second choice. What do you think of these 2 transfers? Of course, Arsenal first target was Morgan Rogers, but he left. But we'll get on to him when we come on to, of course, team he's on for. But yeah, what do you think of these 2 transfers? I think Arsenal, they won the league and they want to win Champions League now. They have to sign some good players like Bruno Guimaraes or Barcola they're linked with. But yeah, what do you think of these?
I mean, Meslier is probably he's probably only gone there for the money. Can't see Kepa leaving, so he'll just be sitting on the bench all season. He's always got a mistake in him, so I'm quite shocked that they actually went in for him. But Nketiah, I mean, we've seen what he did last season for Arsenal. I think he was world class when he played. You know, can play any in the back four. And yeah, he'll push Calafiori all the way to battle out for that left back position. Same with like Lewis Skelly as well. So they've got a good squad depth, I guess. But like you said, if they want to get Champions League, these kind of signings aren't going to help them get to the Champions League final or win it. So yeah, I think they need to really look into investment. So yeah.
In mental ways, how about Lewis Skelly as well? Because last season he actually played mostly in midfield. So, you know, I wouldn't say, yes, he's a left back, don't get me wrong, but Arsenal fans would say, but he's basically a midfielder because, of course, they're playing there. And I think he cut in midfield when he did play there, and when he did come into starting 11 out of line, left back, he did well there. But yeah, like you said, these 2 players, Nketiah, very good signing. You know, I think Arsenal fans were glad to get him permanent. Very good player. But like you said, he's going to chase Calafiori. But Calafiori did well as well. So 2 really good left backs there for Arsenal. And we'll see who they get. They need a centre back, of course. Lacroix from Crystal Palace they're linked with. John Stones maybe on a free agent they're linked with. I've got Ezri Konsa they're linked with. We know they need a really good centre back done. Can't hear you, mate.
He's out for most well.
Oh, there you go. I can hear you now. I can hear you.
Hear me now. Yeah. He's out for a while. So definitely the centre back. John Stones won't be a bad shout if they can't get the other 2. But if I was Arsenal, I'd probably my main target will be Konsa, just because obviously he's young. He knows the Champions League well. And yeah, he's good, to be fair. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. 60 mil. I think Palace are asking for about 55 mil for Lacroix, and Villa are asking for 60 mil for Konsa. So it's a similar of course, money for both of them. But if you don't want to spend the money on them, I think John Stones will be a really good signing for them. Of course, we know he's a very good centre-back. Even though he ain't playing much minutes, but yeah. Moving on then to Aston Villa, of course, signed João Gomez from Wolverhampton and Mansambi from Freiburg. I love the signing of Mansambi from Freiburg, Switzerland midfielder, and João Gomez, of course, got some minutes in our first pre-season game yesterday, and he looked really good, made up of good tackles, of course. Tielemans went out, Morgan Rogers went out, and people saying, oh, Villa might struggle here. But we're getting good replacements. And, I think we're trying to get a replacement for Morgan Rogers now, what I like to see. Another striker could be coming into the door. Of course, we're linked with Garnacho. On a loan, I'll take him. On a loan, not permanent for me. If he has a good season, then, yeah, sign him. But, yeah, I wouldn't sign him on a permanent. God, I know Chelsea want to sell him on a permanent, but, yeah. And Nickon Jackson as well from Chelsea. I love him. I don't love him that way, but I guess. I just love him as a footballer. I think he's quick. I think he's a good striker and he will suit us. I've got Ollie Watkins could be out the door, but then again he wants to stay. And I think if he was out the door, he would have left by now, or someone would have bidded for him straight away. So, what do you think of these two signings? And yeah.
Manzambi, obviously, only briefly known from the World Cup just gone. He bossed the midfield. He can also play in the 10. He's tall, he's quick, he's strong. So it's a good signing, to be fair. And then João Gomez, I think, was a no-brainer. I can't really see him stopping the Championship with Wolves. Can't lie. I think he's too good to be in the Championship. To go to your rival, bet Wolves fans are absolutely raging. But at the end of the day, Tielemans went and he had to get another 6 in, and I think he'll do a job like Tielemans can do. So yeah.
You know what I liked about our window as well? When Tielemans left, we were straight in there and got João Gomez. What I really liked about, of course, I think João Gomez was actually a replacement for Abdou Onana. Of course, he's out injured probably till about March, I reckon. So I think we need another midfielder because we don't want one of these two, of course, and get injured. But imagine João Gomez, Mansambi, Kamara is back now. Of course, he was actually in the lineup against Walsall, but he'll probably get some at the end of pre-season. Who else? John McGinn. That team is looking really good for us, and I think if Leon Bailey goes out, hopefully get another winger. I think we are. This is what I mean. Leon Bailey could link with Hull, and we know we'll come on to Hull, but I think that's why we're getting Garnacho, and if we do get Garnacho, I think Bailey will go out. Do you agree?
Yeah. I mean, obviously I know a little bit of Villa fans don't rate Bailey.
He was really good yesterday, to be fair. He looked shined, but it's only Walsall.
It's only Walsall. Then if that's his standard, then let him go down to League Two. But no, if you get going, I mean, look at Lindelof. All Villa fans were like, "Oh, why Lindelof?"
I was the only actually Villa fan who said I would take Lindelof. I said to loads of Villa fans.
Unai changed him into a different player. So could he do that with Garnacho? Possibly. But I just think Garnacho just needs a lot of game time.
I think his attitude, what people don't get. It's different opinions.
His attitude might stink, but Unai might change that. He doesn't like people with big egos, with attitude, so he might put him in his place, and Garnacho might end up turning up. Might be having one of his best seasons in his career if he goes to Villa, and you never know what happens. But yeah, I think Bailey needs to go. He's not crap, but.
That quite big? He had a good first season, but what that because Diaby was in the lineup, like when Diaby.
Exactly, I think he knows when the Diaby one, he has something to fight for. Whereas now, in his head, he's like, "Oh, I've got no competition. I'll just easily walk in. I can play crap, and then I can still play the week after or something." So yeah, I think think about if should go in that sense, or even on sell him or maybe loan, but yeah, get Garnacho in, I think.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Definitely. Move on to AFC Bournemouth then. They've only signed the one player, Rodriguez from Eki, something like that. Not really heard from this player, but I think he's a very good player. We'll speak about him, but the one who came to my mind and who everyone's saying what a signing for Bournemouth if they're signing is Anthony what's his name? Anthony from Benfica. Anthony Silva, that's it. From Benfica. What a signing that will be done.
Is that the Portuguese one?
Yeah.
The striker?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, do they need a striker? If anything, if I was Bournemouth, I'd end up getting a midfielder because, Alex Scott's not signed another contract.
Yeah.
It will be a big miss. So realistically, they don't really need to look for a striker, depending on if Krupi does go to Spurs or Arsenal or wherever he's think with now. I think that's their main priority, to get midfielder in. And if they do get midfielder in, then maybe look for a striker like him, because, he bagged in goals for Benfica. Played the Champions League as well, so, I mean, yeah.
I think they need a centre-back as well, with Sessi going out. Big missed that at the back. Maybe need another centre-back as well. Need a couple of more players, Bournemouth, don't they?
To see so playing week in, week out, though. I don't really remember. I don't really watch Bournemouth that much, so I couldn't really say if he did or not. But they'll be able to replace a centre-back quite easily, to be fair. Even a John Stones, get him down the seaside, get him down to Bournemouth. But Bournemouth, I think every season Bournemouth just love to keep their business quiet.
Yeah.
Sign players that no one's ever heard of. I've never heard that Krupi till he's just gone and he was unreal. Same with Ryan. So they do their business quite smart. And obviously, now they've got some sort of European football. You never know.
Yeah, definitely. Move on to Brentford then. They've signed Callum Wilson from West Ham. What bloody hell, people was I don't know, people were confused about this one. Anthony from Burnley, of course we know he's a good player. We know he wouldn't stay at Burnley in the Championship. And they've signed Sirkesi from Salzburg, who I haven't really heard from, to be fair. But what do you think of them signings? Callum Wilson, of course we know he's a top striker. Probably going to be back up to Thiago. And then, of course, Anthony, we know he's a very quick winger as well.
Yeah, Callum Wilson's just getting old now, isn't he? He's probably just staying around for the money. He'll probably play for the cup games for Brentford. Can't see him starting over Thiago. He's never going to stop in the... I think his contract ran out at West Ham, so he was never going to stay in the Championship. Same with Anthony. I think Anthony's a Premier League player. Him and Fleming last season was probably Burnley's best players. You know what he's like. You know what he can bring. So I think it's a good little business for Brentford. And that other Kessie, he said, I don't really know much about him either, so I can't really say too much.
Yeah, definitely. Do you think Brentford maybe need one or two more players in? Or do you think they've sorted?
Potentially another centre-back maybe, because I'm pretty sure some of their centre-backs are getting old. Potentially another midfielder, because Penderson's probably on his last legs. And yeah.
He can't even play with one hand at a minute, can he? So I think he's going to miss the start of the season for them. Getting on to Brighton then. This was an interesting signing. Luka Fusikagi. I think that's his name. From Spurs. I think he's a quality signing. I think when he signed, everyone was absolutely hyped up. I think he's a good young player. I think... Is he a defender? I'm pretty sure. I might be wrong, or he might be.
Sorry.
What is that?
Lucas who?
Fuskovic from Spurs.
Oh.
I think he might be a defender, but I don't know. And they've signed Rigo from Benfica, who I think is a really good signing as well. Rigo, of course, I've seen him a couple of times, and he scored a couple of good goals for Benfica. But what do you think of these two signings for Bayern? Of course, we know they need probably a couple of more, but two really good signings in my eyes.
Yeah, I think the player that's on at centre backs probably to replace Van Hecke, which I think is a massive miss for them. So yeah, they probably need a couple more centre backs, maybe potentially another striker. To push Danny Welbeck. So yeah, it's got some good signings in, and again, it's like Bournemouth really. They keep their business quiet. They're bringing wonder kids that turn up. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Getting on to Chelsea. They've signed, of course, Morgan Rogers, what was announced late last night from, of course, Aston Villa, 417 mil. They've even signed Marco Palituri from from Bolton, I think it was. Really, of course, good player. And they've signed Gordon Rani from Sporting. What do you think of these three signings? Of course, I reckon Chelsea is going to get a couple more with Xavi Alonso, but yeah.
Yeah, good three signings. I think one of them was 45 mil. I think they spent on one of them. I think as a centre back.
I think that was that Marco, was it? That Marco.
Yeah. Rogers. I think he was always going to leave Villa at some point. Chelsea kept very quiet with being linked with him. Swooped him off Arsenal, and I think he'll generally do well for Chelsea. Him and Palmer can do the goal celebration together.
That front four, by Palmer, Rogers, SFL, and Jal. That's just.
Yeah, I think they still need a couple of more centre backs, which I think they are linked with John Stones as well.
And Lacroix.
Yeah, linked with Lacroix. I think I saw that yesterday. So yeah, I think Chelsea will cook. To be fair, they're going to look very dangerous next season.
I just don't. Go on.
Potentially could get another winger in maybe if Garnacho does leave. It won't be a big miss because they've got Pedro Neto, but
I just don't think Chelsea are ready for top four yet, though. I think with a new manager, it's going to take time, is it? At least a season. But I know Chelsea fans want to win a cup, and if they don't win a cup or don't even get top 5, I think that's a failure for Xavi Alonso, because they want to be, of course, back in the Champions League and win stuff. Of course, Rodgers did say that Chelsea are the biggest club in London. I don't think Arsenal fans liked that. But yeah, he expect that. I hadn't seen Rodgers message what he did say about Aston Villa last night, but I know it was really sad according to Villa fans. So I'll have to look up that and see. But yeah, 3 good signings there. Coventry, they've signed Amanda from Frankfurt, Shinana from Burnley, and Frank Okar from, I think I said that one, but from Brentford.
Onyeka.
That's it. I think he was there last season. Very good player. He did actually well for Coventry. That's Shinana from Burnley. I said that wrong again. I think he's a good player as well. Then Amanda from Frankfurt, ain't actually heard from him, but I think Cov will sign probably 2 or 3 more. Of course, they're trying to get that Rushworth. I doubt they'll get him now though, but we'll have to wait and see. But what do you think of their business so far?
Yeah, I think obviously we'll get into the other 2, but I think the 3 teams that went up are doing some good business. It was a joke that Frank Onyeka was even in the Championship last season. Absolute joke. He shouldn't even have been in the Championship, to be fair. the Burnley lad as well. I think they spent like 20 mil on him.
You
Again,
want to
one of the
pronounce
Burnley
his name?
Chukwueze, I think. I don't know. But yeah, I think he was one of Burnley's also best players.
Yeah.
He's definitely not championship level. So yeah, Cobb are keeping it on the low, and they'll probably. I mean, there were links with Ross Barkley, but that's failed. They were linked with Harvey
Loftus-Cheek,
Elliott as
but I think
well.
that's gone a bit
Loftus-Cheek,
quiet lately, and that Loftus-Cheek deal.
Curtis Jones as well. So I think they've got some. They will sign a few more players at some point. But yeah.
Alright then. Next team is Crystal Palace, and they've actually done quiet, but they have only announced their manager a week ago. But they have signed Mingonza from Celta Vigo. I actually never heard from him, but apparently he was Celta Vigo best player last season. What do you think of a signing in?
I'm not going to lie, I've never heard of him in my life, so I can't really talk about him because I don't even know who he is or what position he plays for or anything, so swiftly moving on.
Yeah, moving on. Only one signing for Palace. Next team is Everton. I think a couple of good signings. I think T.Q. George from Chelsea. I think he's a quality player. Good junks are there. Hayden Hackney, of course, we know from Middlesbrough. Another really good player. And a surprise one, I think he was there last season. Is it Roney from Freiburg? I think he was there last season, the young one. What do you think of their business? I think 3 really good players. I like the signing of course, Hackney and Tyree George from Chelsea.
Yeah. I mean, Hayden Hackney was arguably Ball's best player last season. Shame that he didn't play any of the playoff games or the playoff final. Tyree George, was he there last season?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was. Actually.
He played like a couple of games. He's young. I mean, he's young. He's still got potential.
Really good player. Though. I like the signing.
Yeah, I think their midfield would be cooking though. You know, Dewsbury or Hackney. They're trying to get Grealish back as well. So yeah, I mean, they're doing their business quiet, and it's probably the best way to do it.
Yeah, they.
If I was them, I'd probably get another. I'd get maybe like a John Stones to Everton. Maybe he was there before.
So John Stones lowest in this video, any guys?
John Stones down at St Andrews. We need a centre back. So, but now I think that's what they need. That Keane's getting old. Tarkowski's getting old. O'Brien's getting old. So yeah.
Yeah, I think the signing. I think of course they are trying to get Jack Grealish back, and I think that'd be another good signing. Of course, he missed most of their season last season when he was on loan because he was injured towards the end. I think that'd be a quality signing if they get that over the line. Move on to Fulham then. The only signing they have signed is Cussi from Bayern Munich. To be honest, I can't even say if I know him or not. I've heard from him, but I don't even know if he's good. I think we'll start with him, but then we'll start and we'll end it with Fulham on the players going out. Harry Wilson went out as well. We'll get onto him, of course. And Diop could be making his move out.
Yeah, Burns to signing, never heard of him. I'm not gonna lie. But Harry Wilson, big miss. Arguably their best player. Leeds is a bit of a shock. I thought he would have gone to Villa because they were very heavy linked with him, and yeah, Diop. I mean, you've seen what he's like. Physical, he's tall. Which is a interesting signing for him, but he's not 30 odd, so coming towards the end of his career now. So yeah, Ipswich look good as well, but yeah.
Get onto them, mate. But yeah, of course, yeah, really big misses for Fulham. Of course, Diop goes out as well. Moving on to Hull, then they've signed Sam Bono from Marlborough yesterday, I think it was, the defensive midfielder. Quality. I think he was there a couple of years ago actually at Hull, and he's now back. And they've signed, of course, Jack Butland from Rangers. I think that's a good signing for a goalkeeper. I think they're trying to get another goalkeeper. Ben Robertson, I think he was there last season, or I might be wrong, but another good signing. They're linked with Leon Bailey. They're linked with Marcus Rashford. What? If he goes there, I'm gonna laugh. But yeah, I think they're linked with a couple of good players as well, and they'll probably sign a couple of more good players. But they're doing their business alright, actually, Hull, aren't they? I think all the promoted teams are doing alright with their business.
Yeah, I think they're getting Matt Target in as well.
I think he signed for a free agent, or has he not signed yet?
Well, I mean, they've got ex-Premier League, stars there, so
yeah.
They haven't really added much quality to, because they don't really need to when they've still got the quality there. What's his name? Josie, I think, the midfielder.
Joseph, he went, and
yeah, he's gone to Borough, which again's a big.
He's a striker, isn't he? Kyle Joseph.
He's a bit of an attacking midfielder, and he's / winger / I mean, he can play anywhere in the top 4 positions.
Yeah, I know he played a couple of games for Hull up front, so I thought he was a striker.
But massive miss, but they've got the quality to get a player.
No, I don't think he's a Premier League player though, like Kyle Joseph. That Kyle Joseph ain't a Premier League player, Morris.
He's never played in the Premier League, can't really base off that.
Alright.
But it's true, you can't say that and then expect him to not.
I know, but I just.
You never know.
Yeah, I know, but I just don't think he's that Premier League quality. I think he needs to be in the Championship. But moving on then to Ipswich. They've signed Fataru from Leicester, what I think is a really good signing, 20 mil for him. They've even signed the striker Emerson from Toulouse. And they've signed, I didn't know they signed him actually, back Akpom from Ajax. And they signed him on the permanent. What do you think of them transfer?
Yeah, Akpom, hold that, you little mouth. Yeah, you picked Ipswich over us, and you've done absolutely when you've done there. So enjoy the Premier League, because you'll be straight back down.
I'm surprised they actually got him on the permanent, but they've signed a couple of good players. Let's say that, and they're probably gonna get. Of course, they're trying to get Diop as well. Of course, he's set to sign. I think Medu. They've agreed with Celtic for the Celtic striker, what I think will be a quality signing. They're actually doing good business, aren't they? With Gary O'Neill.
Gary O'Neill, yeah. I mean, I can't believe he's back in a job, to be honest.
Well, he did well at... Was it Bournemouth he did well? Then he went to Wolves and did awful.
Fatu, I mean, great signing, to be fair. 20 mil is a bargain, to be fair. I think he was always going to leave. Because let's be honest, he's not a League One player. Bloody hell. If he stayed in League One, he'd rip that league apart. I'm surprised Mavridi's still not got a club, whether he might go to Ipswich as well. You just never know. But yeah, business is good for Ipswich. Still think they'll go down. But yeah.
You think they might go down? I don't know. I think with their business, with Gary O'Neill, they could actually stay out, to be fair. But we'll have to get onto our Premier League tables. It's really hard though to actually look at the Premier League and say, oh, who's gonna go down? No, you ain't gonna. All the promoted teams are signing really good players, But getting on to Leeds United, then they've signed Tarek from Sassuolo and Harry Wilson on a free agent from Fulham. That Tariq Pani's a quality player, but we know loads about Harry Wilson. What a signing this is on a free transfer, and 2 solid signings. They probably will get 1 or 2 more in, I reckon.
Yeah, I mean, they don't really need to add much to the squad, to be fair. You know, I think they've still got a quality team now. Obviously, adding to Callum Wilson, great signing on a free. It's fitting that Leeds team quite well. And yeah, we know what it brings. He brings goals, assists, and that's probably what Leeds potentially need. You know, imagine just whipping the ball into Calvert-Lewin and he's just bagging in goals, you know? So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Getting on to Liverpool then. I like this signing for Liverpool. Victor Munoz from Osimhen. Really good signing. You know, quality, looks really sharp as well. And they've signed Jacket from Rennes. Don't really know much about Jacket, but I know Victor Munoz looks like a quality signing, and they'll probably get I reckon they'll get a centre back for a replacement for Kanate. But yeah, what do you think of these 2 signings?
Gonna be honest, I've never read any of them. To be fair, Liverpool don't really splash. I mean, I know they splashed cash last season, but they're not really spending as much this season, to be fair. Then again, the Bournemouth manager, you know, will he bring in, you know, Alex Scott maybe? Will he bring in some Bournemouth lads like Krupi maybe? That could do well for Liverpool. But yeah, I haven't really heard much of their signings, to be fair.
Okay, move on to Manchester City. Then they've signed up with Elliot Anderson from Forest, who we know is a really solid signing, of course. And they've signed Monga, the 16-year-old, I think, from Leicester. Of course, looks really good for them. Probably gonna be, of course, a young player for City. What do you think of these 2 signings?
Yeah, I mean, Elliot Anderson's probably worth the price tag now. After the World Cup he's had, he's an unreal player. Would he replace Rodri maybe if Rodri goes out to Madrid? So I've heard his links go back to Spain. So yeah, big miss for Forest, but that Mongo as well, you know. He's good business for him, you know, he's young. When he did play for Leicester last season, he played like 3 or 4 games, you know, he come up with a goal, come up with an assist as well. So I can see him going out on loan. But yeah, good business.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
know Arsenal wanted him as well, so yeah.
Yeah, definitely 2 good signing there. Do you think Man City will sign another goalkeeper if Trafford goes out? Of course, he's been linked with quite a lot of teams. Of course, he was linked with Newcastle this morning. So do you think he could go out?
I think they'll keep him, to be fair. But if they do, then yeah, they'll have to somehow get a keeper in. But now I can see him staying at City, to be honest, because you know Donnarumma is getting a bit old now. So if he gets old, you know Trafford could be number 1. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Move on to Manchester United, then they've signed, of course, they've done good business this of course, summer. They've signed Yuri Tielemans from Villa. We know, of course, he's quality signing, one of Villa best midfielder last season, did well in the World Cup as well for Belgium. They've signed, of course, Santos from Chelsea, what I think is another really good midfielder. They've signed Darlow from Leeds. Of course, the goalkeeper was at Newcastle as well. And they've signed the young Thomason from Tottenham Hotspur. Some really good business there for Manchester United. I still think they maybe need another midfielder. I think that's what they're trying to get now, another midfielder. But what do you think of these signings?
Yeah, I think, Carrick, his first transfer, he's done well, to be honest, in that signing Tielemans, which, we all saw at Villa. He's arguably Villa's best players last season. Done well in the World Cup. I think he'll do well under Carrick. Send out Santos, to be fair. Didn't really do much for Chelsea because, at the end of the day, it was a poor Chelsea team. So yeah, will Carrick changing around possibly? I heard Carrick wants Rashford to stay. Whether he will, I don't know. But if I was them, I'd probably get another winger, maybe another midfielder as well. Maybe another left back if Luke Shaw isn't fit. But yeah.
Yeah, really good business there. Newcastle then they've signed Stoll from Ajax, Tory from What's so funny?
Oh, I didn't laugh.
Oh, I heard something. Sorry. Right, still from Ajax, Tory from Hopperburn, and they've signed Jonas from Wimmis. What do you think of these three signings? I know Tory is a very good player, to be fair, but I don't know the other two, I can't lie.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Newcastle are probably, as it seems like, they're just signing any players, really. They're losing players left, right, centre. I don't really know much about any of them, but at the end of the day, if I was Newcastle, I'd be looking for a midfielder. I'd be looking potentially a winger. Because, Gordon's gone now. We'll get on to the other player in a sec, but he's also gone. Lewis Hall might go as well, because I know Chelsea will link with him.
Harvey Barnes could be going as well.
Harvey Barnes, Voldemort down might be going back to Germany, so they might need another striker. So yeah, I think Newcastle are just like falling apart, so they're just panicking and just signing any potential players they can get. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Getting on to Nottingham Forest then. Wow. They've signed no one. Glasnow, of course, haven't been in the job for long, but they haven't signed anyone. But of course, Anderson, Ortega, Willy Bolly and Gunn have all gone out. Of course, Ortega, Bolly and Gunn was released, but Anderson, of course, left to join Manchester City. Of course, Gibbs White, of course, being linked with Villa the last couple of days as well. Could he go out? What do you think of these transfers? Of course, not very good for Forest at a minute.
Nah, not really any excuse. Whereas, the manager only just comes to the job because at the end of the day, the second they come in, they've got to do business straight away. They're going to get 116 mil, I think, or whatever it was for Elliot Anderson, so they've got to spend that cash well. If I was Forest owners, I would not let Gibbs White go, because the amount of backlash he'll get from the Forest fans if both of them left. Yes, they might have 200 mil to spend plus whatever they earned last season, but if they're not going to do any business, then I'm sorry, but they're going to struggle. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Move on to Sunderland. They've only signed one player, and of course I've said to you when he signed for them what a signing this is. The fullback Thomas Müller, of course, used to play for Belgium as well. What a signing this is, Dan, for Sunderland and their first season back in Europe.
Yeah, good signing, to be fair. I remember watching him for Belgium, and the World Cup's just gone. Unreal player. I think their main priority is, to keep Xhaka. Obviously, he wants to stay now. Doesn't want to go to Chelsea. To be fair, they don't really need to sign many players, because look what they've done first time in the Premier League. They've got some sort of Europa League football. But will they have second season syndrome if they don't sign any players potentially? But they're keeping the business quiet. And yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And move on to the last team then, Tottenham Hotspur. They've signed Tonali from Newcastle, Fernandes from West Ham, Fanecki from Brighton, Dugaiga, Andy Robertson from Liverpool, and Marcus Sensil from AFC Bournemouth. Wow, they've really been busy this summer transfers, and then probably still a couple more to come in for Spurs. We've heard that Romero is 100% leaving. We heard that late last night as well, what he said. I think it was on Twitter. he said that he is leaving. So do they need another centre back? I still think they need probably 2 or 3 more players in. Maybe a striker, even though they do have Richarlison and you know, Solanke, but I still think they maybe need another striker.
Yeah, I think Spurs have probably done the best little business so far, bringing some, you know, Premier League quality as well. Van Hecker's probably one of the standout ones. Tonali as well is probably another one, you know. Surprised he went to Spurs, to be fair, after, you know, they finished below Newcastle. But yeah, good signings, mean business. And, you know, they're going to look dangerous next season. Potentially, like you said, another striker if Kruppi. You know, I think Spurs want Kruppi, maybe, you know. Potentially another midfielder, maybe, to, you know, to be with Tonali. Maybe another 10. Because, you know, they've got Maddison, but will he be will he be fit enough for the full season? Same with Simmons, you know, he's pretty sure he picked up an injury as well. So yeah.
Yeah, they've got a really good team, and the manager they've got as well. They should be up there at the end of the season, won't they? Back in the top 10, maybe top 7 if they're lucky. But yeah, mate, definitely top 10 for me.
Yeah, I mean, that should be the signings, but, you know, you could sign loads of good players and, you know, they might not all gel. But realistically, they should finish top half. Well, definitely should finish above 17th, bloody hell. But, yeah, the managers, you know, he's got Premier League experience with Brighton. You know what he did there. So it's going to be exciting time to see Spurs, I think, next season. So, yeah.
Definitely. So then, there you go, guys. There's Premier League transfers finished. Of course, we will be doing this probably once, like, every week now. Of course. Dan, want to let the viewers what videos we got coming on?
Yeah. So maybe Friday or Saturday we'll do our early tables, because that's probably the best time I can do. So I'm on the earliest, so then after that. Premier League predictions will be back. I'll let Bailey explain what we do for that as well. And yeah, we'll do like Premier League prediction, Championship League 1, League 2 again. You'll probably do some Tamworth stuff coming towards the start of the season. And yeah.
Yeah, definitely, man. So tomorrow, I might have a day off. You know, I might have a day off. Of course, like Dan said, probably Friday we might do our early tables. Of course, Premier League will be early, but the others will be actually officially. Saturday there'll be a match reaction after Tamworth pre-season game against House Owen. Then of course that kicks off at 3, so it'll be about 5:30. Then of course Villa kicks off about 8 o'clock on Saturday night, and so there'll be a match reaction after that game when we take on Porto. But yeah, man, looking forward to club football being back now. This is where the videos start. Forget about a World Cup. I don't want to mention the World Cup again in this video. Get rid of that, and club football is back then.
Yeah, I can't wait. Really can't wait. Looking forward to next week as well, when we take on Barcelona in the friendly.
He is coming.
In our last friendly. I think it's a sellout, or almost a sellout from our side. Can't see Barcelona bringing many fans. I mean, I'd be surprised.
The dude in fair play too.
And after that, we take on Swansea in the FA Cup, and I'll hopefully be there for that game.
FA Cup?
So yeah, I can't wait. Well, the Carabao Cup, whatever it is. But I can't wait. Yeah. Just going to be back at St Andrews.
Then your first game, 8th of August, when the National League kicks off as well, Dan. Looking forward to all of football. I'll be maybe listening to Tamworth game on the first day against Bournemouth away, but love to see it. Subscribe then, guys, like, and we will see you on the next video. Peace out.